You are now listening to Cryptid Cocktail Party. Creatures, let's meet for a drink. It's a treat. Join us. Join us in the fight. Cryptid Cocktail Party. Cryptid Cocktail Party.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Cryptid Cocktail Party, a show where we have a few drinks, share a few laughs, take a dive into the unknown. I'm your host, Dave, joined finally, once again, by my wonderful co-host, Sarge. How's it going, Sarge?
What up? What up? Sorry I missed last week. I was in another state.
You were in another state, apparently having a fashion show by a pool, because I feel like I saw you in 3 different outfits.
I was having a fashion show. I mean, when you find a shirt and shorts combo with bananas and palm trees, you have to buy it. You have to buy it.
It kind of was given. Remember back in like 2000, I want to say like 16, something like that. There was like the men romper fad going on, where it was like the ones like the short t-shirt like romper thing. It kind of had that vibe to it. And not gonna lie, you could have pulled that off back then. You could pull it off now.
I think I could have. Here's the thing. I shouldn't. I should never, ever wear that, but I could have pulled it off, I think.
Well, I mean, you're halfway there. If you just sew the shorts and shirt together, you have, it's the same thing.
I'm a big fan of the matching shirt and short combo, as we discovered when I went to Providence Pride. I just think it's a valuable look.
You wear it well. I think I said that. I think I said that.
Thank you.
It suits you really good.
I felt right.
And isn't that what life's about? Just being comfortable in your own skin / fashion choices.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
That's why I'm wearing an oversized Patriots jersey right now. This is a 2X, and I feel like I'm wearing a dress. And I'm a big dude, but look at this. For those of you who can't see it, I apologize, but like I'm wearing a dress, and that's just okay.
Yeah,
it's just okay by me.
You just have to just go to the gym more, fill it out. Just fucking get so ripped that you just go up a size or 2.
Just gonna keep doing it.
Yeah,
just gonna keep working out. I saw our friends from the Haunted by podcast. This week
they did their live show this week. How was that? You seemed like you're having a good time.
Oh gosh, insanely funny. It was hilarious. They did an amazing job. They killed it. I couldn't stop laughing. The people I was with, they couldn't stop laughing. It was just insane. They were so funny. They did an amazing show. So
that's awesome. I'm glad.
Check out Haunted by. Good show. Very funny people.
Yeah, I'm glad it went well. I'm happy for them. Maybe next time I'll be able to come up. I don't know. Who knows? Everything's bad right now. The country's going to shit. Yeah, it's fucking snowing outside.
I don't know if you want to travel, Dave. I mean, they might think that you're illegal somehow.
True. I do look I've been told I look vaguely Asian sometimes. Like if I don't have my glasses on, like, I mean,
I wouldn't say vaguely Asian.
You would say full on, just full on Asian.
Yeah. You look like a sous chef at a really upscale Japanese restaurant.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the country going to shit, as I'm sure all of you aware, a bunch of shitty things have been going down in Minnesota with ice and all across the country. And also now they're in Maine doing a bunch of crazy fucking bullshit. Not great.
Because Maine is just a bastion of illegal immigrants.
Well, they do have a big Somali population there, I guess. I found out. Yeah.
Where? In one town?
Probably, yeah. But we, alongside a bunch of other cryptid and paranormal and one very pro Second Amendment podcast got together and we put out a t-shirt. The proceeds of which will go help the Defending Our Neighbors Fund, which helps immigrants get access to legal aid and lawyers and all that stuff. So if you want to get one, you can go to crushed.ice.bigcartel.com and they're $25 each. The thing about it is they're pre-orders only. So the pre-orders are only open for 2 weeks. And then after that, only the amount of shirts that were ordered will be made. So there's no extras.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a long time going thing. And then all what's left over after shipping, and I mean, I have to buy poly bags to ship them in, that kind of, but after all that, anything that's left over will be donated. I kind of think I fucked myself because I didn't realize how many people were going to want the shirts. And logistically, this might be a nightmare because I'm one person who will be doing all the packing and shipping. It's only been up for 24 hours and we already have 100 shirts sold. So
damn. All right. Well, I'll see. Depending on how buried you get in orders, maybe I can, I don't know, come down for, hop on the Amtrak and come down and help you bag them up. Just so people know, we are not making a dime off of this. If we're not paying for shipping supplies, then the money's getting donated, and we will certainly let you know how many shirts were ordered and how much total we are donating. So
yeah, I'm taking screenshots of everything. So if anyone has any questions or want to, so it's on the up and up. I promise. We're not. This isn't.
Yeah, we just don't want people to think we're.
Yeah, this isn't like a right wing grift. We're all.
Yeah, we're not pulling a. Well, I better not say any names because I don't want to open us up to liability. But we're not pulling a thing that many YouTubers do. We're actually going to donate all of the profit. Yeah.
So I just wanted to just let everyone know about that real quick. All right, Sarge. So, like we were saying, it's pretty shitty out. It's cold as fuck. It's snowing, and it's going to keep snowing for probably the foreseeable future at this point. It feels like, at least for me anyways. I don't know what it's like up there.
It's supposed to snow here until tomorrow night. I think there's already a little more than 6 inches out there. We're probably going to get up to a foot very soon. So,
yeah, that's pretty much what it's like here. So I figured today, just to revel in our misery, why don't we cover a little cold weather mystery together? What do you think?
Yeah. You know what happens is there's only good stories that come from cold weather mysteries, lighthearted fare mostly, like the Kamar Deban incident or Dyatlov Pass. So I'm sure you have found something just as brilliant.
You know what's funny is that.
Oh no!
What's funny is that before I landed on this subject, I was looking for something to do, and I almost did the not the Dyatlov Pass. What was the other one you said?
Kamar Deban.
I almost did that one. Then I realized, fuck, you already covered it.
Yep.
Like went to go.
I'm sure you could have done a better job. I just rambled on for an hour. I didn't even breathe. It's such a big story. I didn't realize how long it would take me to get out.
Are you familiar? Are you familiar with the Yuba County Five incident?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I am. This is a like tough story.
Yeah. The story itself isn't. There's one part that fucked me up, and it wasn't even.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the same part that fucked me up.
Okay.
I'm sure it is.
Maybe we'll find out. So for anyone unfamiliar, the Yuba County Five were a group of longtime friends named Jack Madruga, Ted Ware, Bill Sterling, Jackie Hewitt, and Gary Mathias. And they spent most, if not all, of their time together, mostly through a local program for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. They played together on a basketball team. They hung out constantly, and all of them had a routine that almost never changed. Very routine-based lifestyle they had. And that's all to say that these dudes weren't like thrill seekers or partiers. They weren't spontaneous, I guess. They liked structure. They liked to know what was happening, and they liked to know what was happening tomorrow. And what was happening tomorrow, February 25th, 1978, was a basketball tournament. Like I said, they played on a team called the Gateway Gators. And this tournament was like a huge deal to them. They'd been talking about it all week. They laid out their uniforms the night before. They told their families not to let them oversleep. Like I said, big deal. And anyone who knew them knew that this was something that they would never voluntarily miss. So that leads us to the night of February 24th, the night before the big tournament. The Yuba County Five, I don't know if they called them that before this. I just called them I'm sure they were referred to as that. If I remember
correctly, all the local articles kept calling them boys, which was kind of messed up because they were grown men.
They were like in their late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, but I think it's because they had developmental disabilities that at the time that was like they treated them like boys. You know what I mean?
But they were like they weren't like they were high functioning.
It was very messed up is the point I was trying to make. Like,
Yeah.
it was messed up that they kept calling them that because they were grown-ass men.
Yeah, I just didn't know if I should keep calling them the Yuba County Five or this group of friends.
Yeah, I think the Yuba County Five makes sense. I mean, it's, you got a lot to say. I think that's the easiest way to get through it.
Yeah, so on the night of February 24th, the night before the big tournament, the Yuba County Five piled into Jack's turquoise and white 1969 Mercury Montego, which is a hell of a car, buddy. And they drove about 50 miles north to Chico to watch a local college basketball game, UC Davis versus Chico State. Now, these dudes were huge UC Davis fans, so when UC Davis won, they were completely stoked on it. After the game, around 10 o'clock or so, they stopped off at a little market in Chico called Bear's Market to load up on some celebratory snacks for the ride home. Pies, candy bars, sodas, and a quart of milk. I assume it was to go with the pies. I don't know.
There's always one guy who just drinks straight milk for some reason. My son does it, and it turns my stomach every time. He's 14 years old. Loves him a glass of milk, and it disgusts me every time. What is wrong with this boy?
Good for his bones, man.
I don't believe that.
Okay. So after buying their celebratory snacks, they get back in the car and left Chico, heading off into the night. And that was the last time anyone ever saw the five of them alive together. By morning, none of them were home. Every single one of them broke from their daily routine. No one showed up for breakfast. No one was getting ready for the tournament. And within hours, their families were calling each other, realizing that something was seriously wrong. So, what happened? I was going to ask if you have any theories, but you already know this story, so that would be pointless.
Oh, yeah. No, I still don't have any theories. It's a total mystery to me.
Well, let's see. Well, maybe we can figure it out together. Probably not. We're not that smart.
As a team.
Yeah. Well, from Chico to Marysville, the drive home is crazy easy. It's just a straight shot south. It's a drive they had made a million times before, but sometime after they left the market, something went sideways. 4 days after being reported missing, on February 28th, searchers found Jack's car in Plumas National Forest, the foothills of like the Sierra Nevadas, on a remote stretch of Orville-Quincy Road, about 75 miles northeast of Chico, the exact opposite direction of where they should have been going. And this isn't the kind of place that you don't accidentally end up here. Like, this is a back road. There's no pavement. It's like logging roads and access roads type shit. It's late February in the mountains at night. It's covered in snow. The temperatures are well below freezing once the sun goes down. There's no streetlights, no signs. There's no gas station to bang a Yui in. Like, you have to intentionally keep driving mile after mile uphill into worsening conditions.
Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of road that you could just do a 3-point turn on.
Yeah.
It's not like a busy highway.
No, you could have evenly just probably gone in reverse. Yeah. But anyways,
yeah.
So when searchers found the car, it was stuck in a shallow snowbank. It wasn't buried or wrecked, just lightly stuck. Like someone tried to keep going, but then just gave up whole hog. But what's weird is that the car seemed fine. There was about a quarter tank of gas left in it. The headlights were fine. There was no bent axles, no damage underneath, even though this was a rutted out dirt road full of potholes, rocks, and snow, which means whoever drove it up there either went painfully slow or was familiar with the road they were traveling on.
Okay.
Inside the car, police found the trash from the snacks, pie boxes, candy wrappers, soda cans, everything eaten except for half a candy bar. I don't know why they put that detail in there. I feel like it's not important. There was one of the windows was rolled down, the doors were unlocked, and the keys were gone. So the officers, they hotwired it just to see if maybe it was stalled out, but it started immediately. So let's recap real quick. The car works. There's gas. 5 grown men were with it, and they abandoned it for some reason.
Yeah,
they abandoned it
so
anyway.
Weird.
Yeah, and they went off into the freezing mountains in the middle of the night. It seems suspicious, and the location where the car was found gets even more suspicious, if that's possible, because like I said, this road was obviously not on their route, and none of the families could figure out why they would even be there to begin with. Jack, whose car it was, he hated the cold. He hated camping. And as far as anyone else knew, he, as well as the others, had never been up that road before. So why the hell were they there? Well, Police started searching the area around where the car was to try and answer just that, but the timing couldn't have been worse because that same day the car was found, a winter storm slammed the mountain and shat nearly a foot of new snow. So any footprints, tire tracks, or any evidence,
God damn it.
like just
I forgot about this part.
yeah, it just vanished. So, and the search teams that were out in the area couldn't see where they were going, and they almost got lost themselves while searching for the men who were lost. It was bad. So whatever happened to the 5 men or evidence of where they may have headed after they left the car, the mountain just totally erased that. You all right? How you feeling?
Well, I think I remember, if I remember correctly, Jack absolutely loved this car.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew how to fix it. So like if there was any issues, Jack would have been able to take care of that.
Yeah.
That's why like it's so suspicious that it was just stuck in a shallow snowbank. Like I feel like if that had happened to Jack, like yeah, he hates the cold, but he would have stayed in and 4 guys could have easily pushed it out of the snowbank.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't like buried in snow. It was like it's like when you're driving down a road and your car doesn't turn right and you just kind of bump into a snowbank.
Right.
Like
exactly.
you can easily just get out of there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But investigators did receive one piece of strange information about the car thanks to a man by the name of Joseph Shones. So Shones told police that on February 24th, the same night the men went missing, he had driven up the same mountain road earlier in the evening to check snow conditions for a trip he was thinking of taking. I don't know what trip, probably a camping trip. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. While up there, he got his Volkswagen stuck in the snow about 50 yards beyond where Jack's car would later be found. And while trying to free it, he had a heart attack. So
I forgot about this part.
So now this
winter's gonna get you. Winter's gonna get you every time.
Sucks. So now this man is stuck in the dark in the mountains, having a heart attack, just sitting in his car with the engine running for warmth while he just waits it out until morning. He then told
he waits out a heart attack.
Yeah, just
they'll make them like they used to.
Fucking right, dude. He then told investigators that sometime around midnight, he heard voices outside. Then he noticed headlights on the road, and then a little later noticed flashlights moving around the snow. He claimed he saw a group of people near the road, several men and possibly a woman holding a baby. So he shouted out for help, but when he did, the lights shut off and then the voices went quiet. Later, he said he saw more flashlights moving around, so he called out again, but then the same thing happened. The lights went out and it was just dead silent. Eventually, his car ran out of gas, and as the sun came up, he ended up walking 8 miles down the mountain until he reached a lodge and got
after
help.
A heart attack.
Yeah.
After he had a heart attack, he's like, you know what? Let's take a light walk.
Yeah, he did note that on the way down, he did pass the Mercury sitting empty on the road, meaning the car was there during the night in question. Now, doctors did confirm that he suffered a heart attack, but
I'm sorry I'm laughing at this heart attack, but it's just like so mind-blowing to me. He's like, you know what? I don't want to turn my car around. I'm just gonna wait it out.
Well, he was trying to get it unstuck, and I think he overexerted himself, and that's what caused the heart attack. I don't think he was just.
I know, but I'm thinking like he could just put it in reverse and roll backwards for a little bit.
Maybe
he's on a hill.
I don't know. Maybe he spun out and like buried himself. I just have no
that could
idea.
be it too. Yeah, he could just be stuck.
Yeah. So, like I said, the doctors did confirm that he suffered from a heart attack, but because of that, some of his account from the night may be a little unreliable. He could have been confused about the number of people he saw, the order of events, things like that. Also, sometimes when you have a heart attack, you can start hallucinating just because you're all fucked up.
I guess.
Yeah, it was just like, but like little things, like the detail about a woman holding a baby. That's kind of weird.
I don't know. If you're the kind of guy who has a heart attack and the next day you walk 8 miles, I feel like you're probably pretty with it.
I mean, that's what I'm not saying that I say that. I'm saying some people think, I think he's probably fine. But I mean, what does line up is that he heard voices near the car that night. He saw lights moving around, and whoever was out there didn't come and help him. So that's kind of fucked up. So if it really was the 5 men, then at some point after midnight, they were walking around in the snow with flashlights and just straight up ignored this dude's cries for help, which is kind of fucked up.
Yes.
And if it wasn't them, then someone else was on the road that night, which is unsettling.
Well, yeah, that and the woman with the baby thing is kind of mind-blowing to me. Like this, I mean, it could just be a very dedicated Swedish family. They love to put their kids in the snow.
They do.
Yeah. I can confirm, by the way, raised by a Swede out there all the time.
Did they put you in a, well, they do it with babies. Do they put them like in a bassinet and just put them on like the fucking balcony?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Crazy.
My parents never did that because they love me, but I'm kidding.
You're kidding. They don't love you, and they definitely did that?
No,
or?
not at all. Not at all. No, they
all
put me out in the snow all the time.
But either way, Shones is the only known person who may have encountered anything connected to them while they were still alive. And from there, the search dragged on for days, then weeks, with nothing to show for it. No clothes, no gear, no bodies, just trees and snow. And eventually, with more storms coming and no new leads, officials were forced to scale back their efforts as winter essentially just like sealed off the forest. So for more than 3 months, nobody knew what had happened to the Yuba County Five. That is until June, when the snow finally started to melt and people were able to get deeper into the forest. And it wasn't long into June, because on June 4th, 1978, a group of motorcyclists riding through a remote area called Rogers Cow Camp noticed a strong, rotten stench drifting through the trees. They followed it to a Forest Service trailer that was sitting alone in the woods. The door was locked, but one of the windows had been smashed in, so they took a look through the broken window and saw a body lying on one of the beds. It was the body of Ted Ware. Now, this trailer is about 19 or 20 miles from where the car had been found, meaning at least one of the men had walked roughly 20 miles through the mountains to reach it, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Now, when his body was discovered, he had lost somewhere between 80 and 100 pounds, super emaciated. And his beard was long and thick, meaning he had survived there for weeks after disappearing. His shoes were gone, and 5 of his toes had been lost to frostbite, and gangrene was starting to spread up his feet and legs. The coroner ruled his cause of death as exposure along with starvation. But what's fucked up about that isn't the fact he died or how he died, it's how he was found. Ware wasn't found sprawled out like he had just dropped dead. He was lying on a bed, hands resting neatly on his chest, tucked in under 8 layers of sheets and blankets as if someone had tried to keep him warm. Next to him on a small table were his personal belongings, his wallet with the cash still inside, his ring engraved with his name, his gold change. So nothing was stolen. Like, it was all just laid out. Also on the table was a watch that didn't belong to any of the 5 men that no one could explain.
Jesus.
Then investigators started taking a look like around the trailer. And this is where it gets kind of confusing. So outside in one of the storage sheds, they found 31 open cans of U.S. Army C rations. And whoever opened them used a military P-38 can opener. Now, only 2 of the men, Jack and Gary, had any Army experience. Gary was a veteran. I believe Jack was too. And they would have known how to use it. Now, I looked up this can opener, and I was like, how fucking hard can it be to open a can opener?
Oh,
dude,
man.
this thing is a nightmare. It's a straight edge, basically. Like,
yeah, this isn't like the Swiss Army can opener that you have in your Swiss Army knife. This thing is insane.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. And I feel like you shouldn't need special Army training to open it.
No, it's so weird looking.
Yeah, so at least one of those 2 was also alive long enough to make it to the trailer, find stored food, and open dozens of cans of it. They also found extra clothing taken from the storage unit and evidence that a candle had been lit. So, I mean, this all sounds like your standard survival kind of thing.
Right.
Like, they're just surviving. Until you learn about what they didn't use. In that same shed was a locker full of dehydrated meals, enough food to feed 5 men for almost a year, and that was never opened. The trailer where Ted's body was found had a propane heating system. All you had to do was turn a valve. It was never turned on. There were matches, furniture that could have been burned, paperback books, wood, but no fire was ever made. So someone was smart enough to break in, find food, extra clothing, all that, but not smart enough or not able to heat the trailer, use the largest food supply sitting right there, or at the very least start a fire. Like I said, excuse me. Like I said, it looks like survival, but mixed with total failure to do the most basic survival things. Investigators believe that Ted may have lived in the trailer for 4 to 8 weeks before dying.
Jeez.
Which means that while the families were searching for him, Ted slowly starved to death in a shelter that had literally everything in it that could have saved him. And as I mentioned before, he wasn't alone. Inside the trailer, they found Gary Mathias's shoes. Ted's were gone. Gary's high tops were there. I don't know why they switched shoes. Maybe it has something to do with Gary's feet about to get frostbite. Ted's were already fucking long gone, so they switched it. I really don't know. But what it means is that the two reached the trailer together. This would explain how the cans of food were opened using the stupid army can opener because Gary was one of the two of the five that was an army veteran. But it makes it even weirder because as an army veteran, he would have had survival training, that none of which seemed to kick in, which is crazy.
I'm sure he would have known how to turn on the heater too. I mean, he would have known at least how to make a fire.
That's what I'm saying. It's weird. So 2 of the men made it this far, but only one left the trailer. And once Ted Weir's body was found inside, search teams changed up their tactics on how they were going to start looking for the men. Instead of just combing the area randomly, they started working backwards, tracing the road from the trailer to the abandoned car to try and find out where the rest of the group may have fallen. On June 5th, about 11 miles back down the road from the trailer, searchers found the remains of Jack and Bill. They were discovered on opposite sides of the road, not far from each other, but by that point, animals had just been going at them for months.
Right.
Jack's body had been dragged roughly 10 feet into a stream bed and was lying face up. Bill's remains were mostly bones at this point, and they were scattered over 50 feet of ground. The coroner ruled Jack's cause of death as hypothermia. Bill's official cause of death was listed as undetermined because, again, mostly bones.
Yeah.
So the assumption is that he also froze to death, which is probably a safe assumption.
Mostly Bones is a great name for like a metal band.
Mostly Bones.
Or like an indie pop band, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, or if you're doing like a Clutch, kind of like that weird stoner rock kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I think
Mostly Bones.
I think it could work for that.
The Yuba Five, actually, sadly, is also a good name for a band.
It is pretty good.
R.I.P. boys.
But besides that, the only thing they found was in Jack's pants pocket, and that was his car keys, meaning Jack, the driver, walked away from his car with the keys and died 11 miles from it in the snow. Now, 2 days later, on June 7th and 8th, the remains of Jackie Hewitt were found. This one's a bit rough. This is where I was kind of like, oh shit. So even though authorities warned him not to, Jackie's father insisted on joining the search, and while canvassing about 2 miles northeast of the trailer, he spotted something in the brush, a gray jacket belonging to his son. When he picked it up, a human spine slipped out of it. I'm sorry. It's fucked up, and
kind of the worst person to find that.
Yeah. The rest of his remains were scattered nearby: bones, his jeans, his orthopedic high-top sneakers. And then a day later, because again, this was over the course of 2 days, a deputy found a skull about 100 yards downhill, and dental records confirmed it was Jackie's. And like Bill, Jackie's remains were too far gone to determine an exact cause of death, but there was no signs of trauma or anything to suggest foul play, so it's safe to assume he went out like the rest of them. So by now, 4 of the 5 men had been found. 1 in a trailer, 1 just short of the trailer, and 2 along the road miles away. But one of them was still missing, Gary Mathias. So Gary was different from the other 4 in one key way. He didn't have an intellectual disability. He was a paranoid schizophrenic. When Gary was on his meds, he was stable. When he didn't, things could go horribly wrong. And in the past, during episodes, he would become disoriented and wander long distances. So the question naturally came up: had Gary survived longer than the others, to simply walk off the mountain? There were clues that Gary had made it to the trailer with Ted. Like I said, inside they found his high-top sneakers, and Ted's leather shoes were missing. Outside the trailer, they found 3 Forest Service wool blankets lying near the road, a rusted flashlight with dead batteries, and a gray cigarette lighter. Now, none of the items could be definitively tied to Gary, but their presence there hinted that someone had been moving around the area for some time. Authorities searched for Gary for about 2 more weeks after finding the others. They combed the woods, the roads, nearby ravines. They looked for his glasses, clothing, personal items, bones. Nothing. And because he needed daily medication to stay stable, they checked hospitals, shelters, and mental health facilities all across California and even further out. His photo and description were circulated nationwide, but again, nothing. He never turned up, which means Gary died somewhere the search party never reached, or he somehow made it out of the wilderness and just vanished into the world. Now, most investigators believe option one is far more likely. The forest is huge. There's snow, animals, and just time itself can completely erase a body. If he had wandered off the road and into deep brush or down a ravine, no one's finding him. Like, you're just gone forever at that point.
Yeah.
But if he survived and made it out, he would have had to do it in a full-blown state of psychosis, possibly half blind if something happened to his glasses, and in just the absolute worst weather conditions. But like I said, no one has ever reported seeing him anywhere. So who knows? And officially, Gary Mathias is still listed as missing. He was never declared dead, which means the story of the Yuba County Five doesn't end in the trailer. And people have some theories as to what happened that night. And there are a bunch of them. So I chose a few. How am I going to word this? So I've chose some that are more likely the reason for what happened, and then a few that are just our bread and butter, just out there.
Right. Insane theories.
Yeah. So first up, we got just a wrong turn. That's it. Just like the most likely explanation is that the men missed a key turn after leaving Chico and ended up driving east into the mountains instead of south towards home. There's a poorly marked junction near Orville Road, and if you miss it at night, the road naturally drags you uphill into remote terrain. Once they hit snow, they likely kept driving until the car got stuck, and then from there, they made the fatal decision to leave the vehicle and look for help on foot. Their bodies being found along the road between the car and the trailer supports the idea that they just kept walking deeper into the forest instead of turning back. This explains why the car was where it was and why the men were scattered along the road, but doesn't explain why they drove so far without realizing something was wrong. Like you would think that after a while, especially if you're driving a drive that you've driven a million times, you'd be like, hey, normally this is paved and not woods at some point.
Yeah.
I would hope.
Yeah. Me too.
And then, and then theory two, just straight up hypothermia and impaired judgment. By the time like Ted Ware and Gary Mathias reached the trailer, both of them had already been walking for miles in deep snow, freezing temperatures for who knows how long. And hypothermia doesn't just make you cold. It causes confusion, bad decisions, and emotional instability. People can still walk, talk, and eat, but your brains kind of stop working right. So if Ware and Mathias reached the trailer already hypothermic, that could explain the contradictions inside. They were able to break in, find food, and open cans, but failed to do the most obvious life-saving things, like turning on the propane heater or opening the locker full of dehydrated meals. Instead, they relied on what was just directly in front of them, so blankets, a candle, canned rations. And if Gary's mental health started to deteriorate once he ran out of medication, that would have made everything much worse. A hypothermic brain plus untreated schizophrenia is a fucking brutal combo. Even with shelter, the two of them may not have been capable of planning, conserving energy, or recognizing how close they were to freezing to death. So, yeah, this theory isn't like they didn't know what to do. It's both of them were physically and mentally compromised before they even reached the safety of a trailer.
Exactly.
And then this is kind of like the middle theory, where we're not absolutely batshit, but this is kind of like a theory that some people have. And this is that they were
getting there.
and this is that they were chased or forced into the mountains. So this theory kind of says that the men didn't choose that road. They were kind of driven up it. Somewhere after leaving Chico, they may have encountered the wrong people or seen something they shouldn't have. Maybe they witnessed a crime, crossed paths with violent people, or were just simply unlucky enough to be noticed by someone who's fucking out of their minds. Joseph Schoen's story about hearing voices and seeing lights near the car that night fuels this kind of theory, suggesting there may have been other people out there. Supporters argue that 5 men wouldn't willingly abandon a car unless they were scared of something. The problem is there's no physical evidence of violence. There's no...
Yeah, and maybe the lady just didn't vaccinate that baby.
But there's
I would run from an unvaccinated baby for sure.
But yeah, there's no bullet wounds, no stab wounds. There's no sign of a struggle. If someone forced them into the mountains, they did it without ever touching them and then just left them there to die, which is creepy as hell. But also, it's a very inefficient murder plan, if you ask me.
Yeah.
It's
also, was it Gary was found in the trailer? He still had his money. So the world's worst robbers.
Yeah, they weren't good at what they do, and it was Ted in the trailer still, I believe. Gary was the one who went with Ted, and then Gary's still missing. Okay. Gary's still missing. And then now we're moving into our kind of shit. So the fourth theory is military or government involvement. You said this before we started recording. This story has also been dubbed America's Dyatlov Pass. So this series treats the case like the U.S. version of that. The idea is that the men accidentally wandered into some kind of secret military activity in the mountains, like either weapons testing, training exercises, or some sort of surveillance operation, and were either chased off or intentionally misled into the wilderness. People like to point to Gary Mathias being an Army veteran and also to like nearby military facilities as evidence that something official could have been happening out there. Some versions claim the men were mistaken for intruders or were considered loose ends after seeing something classified. And there's no evidence for this beyond like vibes. In Paradise, there's no documents, no witnesses. There's no sign of a cover up. But when a case makes no sense, what? Whoa!
I got something though.
What do you got?
This is in the 60s, right?
78.
MK Ultra, baby. Maybe they dosed these poor guys with some LSD and sent them into the woods to see what would happen.
That is possible. 78. When
did
MK Ultra
end? MK Ultra was discovered in like 1971. The military, like. The thing is, one of the guys was a vet. He would have been able to speak military to them, like they're not going to. None of that makes sense to me. Like, what could they have possibly seen on a dark road that would have forced them on? Like, just no. You want to know? You want to know what they could have seen on a dark road in the middle of the woods? What's that?
Well, because this happened deep in a Northern California forest, some people believe the men ran into something not human, maybe a Bigfoot.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Nephilim. Yeah, Bigfoot. Honestly, to me, Bigfoot sounds more reasonable than the United States military finding 5 guys on the side of the road, just decided to kill them.
Yeah.
Now, if this were happening today, if someone were to blame the government today, I would believe that. But back in 1978, they're going to be like, go home. You didn't see anything. And they'd be like, okay, yeah, all right. I'm far more willing to believe Bigfoot did this.
All right. Well, the reason why people think it's Bigfoot is the idea is that whatever they encountered scared them off the road. They abandoned their car in a panic and then fled into the trees. The smashed trailer window and their irrational behavior get folded into this theory as like a fear response instead of just confusion from hypothermia. But again, there's no physical evidence of a cryptid attack. There's no tracks, no wounds, no witnesses. But the theory survives because it answers the emotional question, what would scare 5 grown men enough to walk into a frozen forest instead of staying in their car? So in this version, it's not the cold didn't start the disaster, it just kind of finished it.
Right. Yeah. It exacerbated the situation.
Yeah. So what really happened that night? Who's to say? It was probably a good mix of like theory 1 and 2 with a couple other factors thrown in. But we won't ever really know. The Yuba County 5 case doesn't end with a revelation or a villain. It just kind of stops. Just 5 dudes leave a basketball game and somehow end up in a frozen hellscape where every decision they make just makes things worse. So whether they were lost, scared, confused, or running from something, the result is the same. 4 men are dead and 1 is still out there. So whatever really happened up there, it didn't need monsters or conspiracies to be horrifying. Sometimes the scariest thing is just how easy it is to disappear when the road ends and the snow decides you don't get to leave, which I'm starting to feel now.
I do. So my theory is basically the same as yours. I think they probably got stuck in the snowbank.
Yeah.
Realized that they didn't know where they were. And I think my belief is that the guy having the heart attack, him screaming, probably scared them into thinking that either they were on private property, or B, maybe they thought something more nefarious, but they probably got spooked, and that's why they took off into the woods. The fact that you find kind of almost like, I hate to say this because it sounds so awful, but like human breadcrumbs, like the bodies it's so terrible in stages. It just tells me that hypothermia picked them off one at a time.
Yeah.
And the remaining 2 got in the trailer, but they were probably deep into hypothermia. And by the time maybe the hypothermia subsided for Gary, the other guy was already too far gone. He's like, oh, I'll go get help. But he hasn't been taking his medication. Schizophrenia set in. It's a horrible combination.
It is.
I
feel like And I feel like when talking about this case, like people focus too much on the fact that they were mentally disabled. Like they were like, I feel like they were all pretty well, like they were all fairly high fun. I think Jackie was the only one that kind of like relied on the other ones a bit, but even then he was still like, so I don't think it had anything to do with that. People just like to focus on that because I guess it makes it more sad or something. But
I think that they were perfectly capable of accomplishing a number of things. And I think, to try and blame this on their mental disability is, it's not giving them enough credit. I think that these guys probably could have done whatever they needed to survive.
Yeah, because when I was researching it, they focus on that fact heavily, but nothing they said had anything. There's no evidence or anything. Like they just kept bringing it up. Like it doesn't matter. Like these dudes are fine.
And one guy, he's heavily medicated and a normal functioning adult. It's just if he goes off his medication, he's in trouble. So and I'm sure he wasn't off his medication that day. I'm sure he took it before he left.
Yeah.
And that med stays in your system for a little while. So I'm sure over time, over the course of maybe a couple of days or even weeks, it'll get worse and worse and worse. But I mean, I think I agree with you. I think it's messed up. I also, so many different things that I found when I first heard about the story kept referring to them as the boys. And again, that was really
grown men, full on
grown men, fully capable grown men, some developmental disabilities, but like that could have meant anything back in 1978, could have been dyslexia, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like high functioning autism. Like
they were fine. I really do think that, the guy having the heart attack, I forget his first name, Mr. Schoen, screaming is probably what scared them off. They were probably just not sure what to do, didn't know what, how to solve the problem, and better to run away. And, it's also very easy to get turned around in the woods when it's snowing. I go hiking in the woods all the time.
Like it's snowing and dark. Like, dude,
especially in the dark. It's really disorienting.
But even like you could be disoriented in the dark, and then once the sun comes up, you're just fucked. Like and then it snowed again. You can't even retrace your own footsteps.
Right.
Like it's all just a nightmare. But yeah,
absolutely.
So that's the story of these guys. I don't know if you got anything else.
Heartbreaking story. Heartbreaking.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing about this is cryptid related. I just like the mystery of it.
It could be cryptid related. Bigfoot could have done it. You know who didn't do it? The fucking government. I promise you.
We don't know that, Sarge. All right. It could have been anything. Maybe,
I love that the level of distrust for the military is so strong that they think that they were just going into civilian territory and abducting and killing people.
Maybe Gary was in on it. Maybe Gary,
sleeper agent.
Exactly. He got activated by a number station that they
heard on the radio.
They heard on the radio. Exactly. Oh, we fucking nailed it, dude.
It's all coming together now.
Yeah. We're fucking so dumb. Okay. All right. So that's the story. It was just, I don't know. I watched something about it and then I did something. I don't know. It's just stuck with me and
it's a haunting story. It's a really haunting story. I
just wanted to talk about it. Yeah. So I guess that's it. Sarge, you got any questions, comments, concerns before we wrap this up?
No, I'm not going to say I'm good. I'm okay.
Was there anything I missed? I don't know. Because again, you know about this.
No, I think you got it all. I mean, the one part that I forgot. So for me, the most disturbing part was when they found the guy in the trailer with like the missing toes and everything. That really bugged me, especially because he was surrounded by food.
For me, it was the human spine falling out of the jacket.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
I forgot about that part. So.
Again, sorry I laughed. That was a nervous response. It's not funny.
No.
But
no, I do the same thing sometimes, so I get it.
All right, so that's it. Sarge, you got anything you want to plug before we sign off?
No, just pre-order one of our t-shirts. We'll pre-order our t-shirt. We're making them in conjunction with all the others, as you mentioned before. Find the link on Cryptid Cocktails page. We're going to donate to help the folks that are being terrorized by our own government. And fuck ICE.
We have a platform. Might as well use it for good, right?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So like Sarge said, crushedice.bigcartel.com, $25, get a shirt. I'm going to be fucked when it comes time to ship all these. So it's going to be a minute.
Yeah. Let me know if you need some help.
And you can follow us on Instagram, Cryptid Cocktail, TikTok, Cryptid Cocktail Party. Please leave us a 5-star rating and review. It really helps. And I guess with that out of the way, Sarge, you want to say goodbye and I love you to the audience?
Audience, goodbye, and I love you.